You're starting a hedge fund. The world's watching, the pressure's sky high, and the noise of how you should play it is deafening. Everyone acts like there's a secret sauce, an unbreakable formula. But here's the brutal truth. The single biggest mistake new hedge fund managers make isn't some flashy misstep. It's hiding. Pretending you can play by the old rules and win. Holding back your real edge because the system says, be cautious, follow the trend, don't risk too much, and fit in. This mistake isn't a small slip. It's a disaster that starts silently, eats away at your potential, and guarantees you'll never break out of the pack. And the worst part? It feels safer than the alternative, until it's too late. But it doesn't have to be like this. The raw, unsparing playbook that pulls you out of this trap exists, and it's nothing like the one you've been handed. At the very first heartbeat of launching a hedge fund, the biggest trap is mistaking conformity for strategy. The urge to mirror what's proven, copy what worked for the big players, stick to the comfort zone is overwhelming. You think, if I do what they did, I'll get what they got. This is a lie the system sells to herd you into mediocrity. The moment you accept that, you stop being a hunter and become prey, blending into a sea of lookalikes, hemorrhaging your unique advantage. Every single investor, every single partner, everyone who matters sees it. They sense the echo, not the voice. The lazy juggle of safe plays, not the fierce clarity of a game changer. You end up competing not on what you bring to the table, but on recycled strategies, doomed to lag behind the real innovation happening in shadows, on fringes, where the real power moves happen. What's fueling this mistake is bigger than fear of risk. It's a prison of illusion. You're told the hedge fund world is a strict game with defined lanes. Stick to a style, follow rules etched in stone, never break away, or you sink. This belief chains you. It convinces you that independence and boldness are reckless, arrogance. But the greatest hedge fund managers who ever lived shattered every assumed rule. They redefined the game before the game could define them. What they share is a refusal to be boxed in, to let the way things have always been kill their fire. They embraced the chaotic edge, the unknown, and saw opportunity where others saw risk. They didn't get caught in the daily grind of don't rock the boat. They rewrote the boat's course. And that's exactly how you have to move. The pain you feel right now, the sleepless nights, the crushing self-doubt, the endless cycle of meetings where you half-sell yourself just to keep the ship afloat, is not just stress. It's the echo of a disconnect between the person you are, burning with ideas and potential, and the version the hedge fund world expects. That disconnect is dangerous because it erodes your soul. It chips away at your will. It is the silent death of ambition. The system does not reward brilliance that doesn't resemble the norm. It punishes it by neglect. Don't let this happen. Refusing to confront this disconnect means settling for a pale shadow of your vision. Here's the secret to breaking free. Abandon the safety of replication and dare to lead with your real, unfiltered vision. Investors crave originality wrapped in discipline, not recycled formulas. They want to see that you're not operating from inherited playbooks, but from a place of fearless innovation. Strategies no one else thought could work because they're outside the comfort zone. This means being ruthlessly honest about where you uniquely excel and building every move and every risk around that. Stop trying to please the crowd or predict every market move perfectly. Instead, start designing your fund to be an ecosystem for your edge. The rare insight, the distinct approach, the asymmetric bets that others shrug off. Your power doesn't live in the traditional boxes. It lives where you refuse to follow. Operational excellence is dead without soul. Precision in numbers is useless if your strategy doesn't pulse with the life of your conviction. This is why many new hedge funds fail to captivate. They pour energy into spreadsheets and presentations, but forget that real investors are people craving leaders with presence, clarity, and nerve. Shut out the noise of industry best practices that dull your bold ideas. Instead, create a culture where your team lives and breathes the same raw hunger. Align yourself with those who burn as you do. Partners, analysts, investors, not just the safe options. This is not about fitting in. It's about building an exclusive tribe fueled by shared fire and limitless ambition. The magnetic power of this alignment will not only attract capital, but will also create one of the most under-acknowledged forces in hedge fund success: relentless synergy. Don't underestimate patience. The investor who demands instant returns is betting against history. The real plays are long and messy. Your edge will not light up like a neon sign overnight. It grows in the underground, in the grind, in the shadow, where the bold persist while the rest retreat. Being patient isn't passivity. It's the boldness to stay the course when the safe many jump ship. It's the stubborn belief that the world changes only when a few refuse to bow to short-term pressure. Your fund's narrative, your edge, the unique alchemy you possess, they require time. Fight the urge to scramble, to imitate transient hot ideas, masquerading as genius. Instead, back your conviction with endurance and relentless refinement. Risk is your weapon, not your enemy. The fundamental failure is misunderstanding risk as something to avoid rather than to master. Fear drives new managers to spread bets thin, chase every trend, or worse, sit idle waiting for perfect signals. This false safety is the death of alpha. The point isn't reckless gambles, it's calculated confrontations with risk zones your competitors dare not approach. This demands a mindset forged in clarity, data, courage, and constant reassessment, not in paralysis. Mastering your risk profile means you transform volatility from an adversary into your greatest ally. You learn to lean into uncertainty and turn what terrifies others into your launchpad. That's how real hedge funds leave their mark. Finally, understand this. The world you enter is a myth machine designed to pacify you. It tells you to fit in, to scale noise, to chase metrics over meaning, to inhale comfort and exhale fire. Reject that lie. Your mission is to be sovereign, to build a fund that isn't a follower in the crowd, but a star disrupting constellations. The infrastructure for exceptional doesn't exist out there, so craft it yourself. Connect fiercely with the few who share your defiance and clarity. Your greatest strength will be in those alliances, in the brutal honesty of your partnerships, where real transformation occurs. This network will be your fortress, your fuel, your amplifier. Remember, the single biggest mistake isn't a wrong trade or a bad hire. It's surrendering your edge to the comfort of the known. Every second you linger in old patterns, you lose ground to those who refuse to be smaller versions of the system. The path to exceptional hedge fund management isn't paved with conformity. It's carved by those rebellious enough to reject the forged chains and brave enough to create a new reality. When you accept this and act from it, you don't just build a fund, you build a legacy. The question is, will you burn or bend? The choice is yours, and every moment you hesitate, the prize slips one beat further away. So rise, redefine, unlearn. Because only through that fire will the real new hedge fund emerge, unstoppable, unforgettable, and utterly uncompromising.